Tonight we're staying at Under Canvas.
Well, there is a hospital of exit 65.
We're down at the Hoover Dam today right now. We're gonna... She's liking this trail. Hiking.
I tell you, there's a lot of folks that would love this as their backyard view.
We're at another historical location near St. George, Utah, but this is up in Washington County, part of it. This is the Orson Adams house right here. It's a little stone house, and we're going to take a little tour of it and show it to you. And this guy right here, William McMullen, he was a stonemason. And if you remember the stories that we're telling you, Brigham Young always chose skilled tradesmen. They had skills of some type when he chose them and asked them to come over here and help settle.
Right, like we saw in that church last night, the museum where they were showing the stone cutting for that building.
Yeah. He always chose skilled tradesmen to come over and settle the areas because he needed them. You know, he needed them to build it. So he needed stonemasons. Well, this guy, he built a lot of this area of Old Harrisburg, right? A part of the Mormon settlement was in Harrisburg, Utah. And this guy right here, William McMullen, he was a stonemason from 1863 to 1865. He built many houses here. We're covering this one and one more that he built here. And so let's go down here and look at the Orson B. Adams house. Let me scan that in. I want to see the mountain. It is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So he was a stonemason. And when they were settling this whole area of Harrisburg down to St. George, they were in here planting crops. And if you look out behind here, you can see where they were probably trying all kinds of things. Look at this mass desert right here behind him. See that? But look at that view back there of that snow-capped mountain. That's pretty.
Snow-capped mountain, how about that?
But I don't see where this would be productive for cotton growing. That's where I
don't
would
either, but I really don't know how cotton grows. I know we can grow it in North Alabama, and the climate here is about
and this
similar.
shows where they came in and they saw where it was
Oh,
being
here we
torn
go.
down.
The house is in bad shape here.
Right, and they restored it the way it used to look.
Right, yeah, they were talking about in the early 2000s that they had started doing some work to restore these places back to their original beauty. And actually, that's what it said right there, beauty in stone.
They said this house was built between 1863 and 1866 by McMullen, the guy I was just telling you about. It's typical of early Utah architecture, and it's referred to as a double cell or double pen house, developed in Virginia and carried into the deep south and west. It reflects the Greek revival style. Courses of sandstone blocks make up the interior and exterior walls, and it says, notice how carefully the dressed stone in varied shades of red and white are laid in alternating pattern. Okay, I see that.
And that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty.
But you know, I'll tell you, all of these stones, these houses that we visited from the 1800s out here have all been stone. Have you really noticed that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's because you can get it right here out of the desert, right?
Well, hey, Alabama, we've got some great stone, but we have a lot more lumber.
But you look at the stone. Yeah, I can see
I
that.
wasn't seeing, you know, it must have been a thing out here with the architecture of running these beams through.
Oh yeah, because you can see that. Yeah, you can. Like it was on the other ones.
I don't know if that's because it helps hold the stone wall up.
Well,
I mean, if any of you know, comment below. Let us know kind of the purpose of that.
oh, look at this backside.
Whoa. Oh, so this was probably a back porch.
Right, that looked out over the desert.
Oh man, you can sit right in. You know, now
See his little trail going out to the desert? That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
oh, and it says right here, this was once a flourishing farmstead. So that is true. Does it say it had cotton? Let's take a look at this, guys.
They grew grapes.
O.B. Adams
and
house.
orchards.
This is where we are.
And it said they had gardens and orchards. I know they had grapes and things like that.
Yeah, that's the house. This is that field. Okay.
So this was the, okay. Take a picture.
And then they just did ditch irrigation for their fields.
You go look at this right here.
Do you know, I bet you this was tough ground to dig.
Oh, I'm not going down this thing. I'm just going to look, see what this is. It says Adams. This is like his little trail, it looks like. That went off down in that to that stream.
This was one of the places. Yeah, this was one of the places a friend of mine at work said that we should go to. And there's right up here. There's two rocks that are real close together, like a real small stream that you would have to wade through. And this time of year, I'm just not going to wade in water.
No, it's too cold. Oh yeah, this is beautiful out here. Can you imagine sitting out on this back porch and seeing this as your backyard? Now, this is a hostile environment. I mean, if you look at it like that.
I mean, but then again now, I mean, for us, it's a hostile environment. We're used to a lot more rain, a lot more green.
Yeah, they said this is the typical house that was built. One more picture of that. Oh, this is really pretty. I love the masonry work on this. And the shutters. And out here you would need that for the wind and the sand and the rock.
I'm sure that concrete line right there is pretty new, but the foundation was probably shaky over,
Right.
100 years?
I'm going up here to see I don't know if this is a cemetery or what that is.
Woo, it's getting cooler out here.
Yes, it is. It's the desert.
Warm today.
This must be a garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was a garden.
I guess keeping the critters out.
Okay, guys, so you can see right here. Let me scan that real slow so you can see what I'm seeing. That's a garden. You can see where they planted. And you see this is an environment that he had and that he was living in. It can be hostile at one point, but it can be beautiful. Look at this. He was down a long dirt road by itself. There's worse places to be.
We've been going out and covering and checking out some of these old settlements. This one right here, William Laney, 1815. He was born, 1891 he died, so he lived a good while. Over from the Franklin, Kentucky area, so that's over by us.
And this was part of the Harrisburg settlement that I was talking about earlier too.
Right, yeah, and this goes with
the
last house we were at in the Harrisburg settlement.
Now it says, clearly you can't walk in there, but you can see in there. We can see, hey, get in there on this. You see the fireplace, guys?
And think, this guy, he had 9 children. Wow. I don't know if he had them all at once, but he was married a couple times. And he moved to Utah in 1847. So he was, what was he? He was in his 30s or so when he decided to move out this way.
The stonemasonry work in there is beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's just...
Those rooms are beautiful.
Cutting these stones out of that rock. And I'm telling you, like we saw at the temple last night, it looked to me like, almost like the way they did it in Egypt.
Yeah.
The way they cut those stones.
Look at that. That goes down like deep in there. I don't know why. That must have been a part of the basement.
Like a lot of guys, though, he came out here with a group, and it was the Edward Hunter Jacob Fouts Company.
Okay.
And there was a lot of traveling groups like that at the time. Sometimes it was actually a for real company that dealt with a product or a service. A lot of times it was a company of individuals just traveling. It was a lot more difficult than jumping on I-40 to get here in those days.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
They had to cross states, and it usually took them 3 to 4 months to do that.
Right. It takes us, 3 days.
Right.
3 days I can be anywhere in the United States.
Yeah, they left with wagons and like 60 wagons on this one trip alone. And they went with 60 wagons. And then in the fall of 1850, Brigham Young asked him to go do the Parowan settlement, which is south of here, to go settle it. Let me walk around this side.
What I think is neat is when we were in the temple last night, one of the pictures we zoomed in on from the last video you probably saw there was grapes.
Right.
All trimmed along the ceiling. And grapes is a very important crop out here, and it's not something that I would just think of. I think of a different climate when I think of grapes.
Right, but you know, when he moved here to Harrisburg, because of the climate, they raised grapes, indigo, and cotton here.
Right, but like even in even in Alabama, muscadines is our best grape.
Right, and they're really good. We get muscadines.
I mean, they're great, but they're a warm weather, hardy fruit.
Right.
Grapes are very sensitive, especially the grapes that they raise flavorful for wines. Because up until Prohibition, the Mormon faith, you know, they use sacramental wine.
Right, right.
And then during Prohibition, they decided, well, I guess we don't need that anymore, and they left it off the menu.
That is beautiful.
It really is.
Now, it said he took another wife when he was here. He took a second wife named Mary, and they had 2 infant children, 2 daughters, but they died when they were babies.
You know, I was looking at this window. I don't know if anyone's ever built something, but the way that they framed that window into that rock is really cool. And that one piece of rock set as that headstone or capstone, however you want to call it, for the doorway.
Oh, okay. And you look at how this is built around here to the corner, and then you have the little ladder. See, that is a basement. You see the steps and the ladders that goes down there? You see that?
I mean, I don't really know what the weather is out here. Would they have, were basements more for food storage, or was the basement more for shelter during certain storms?
I would think it's more for food storage, wouldn't you?
That's kind of what I was wondering.
We're going to walk down to the other one.
Because, I mean, as cool as it is getting, like, in the past 20 minutes.
Right. It's getting really cool out here, guys.
I mean, I could see where, you know, your basement would
right
probably
here?
stay 15, 20 degrees.
Here's was a list of the Harrisburg residents that were here when they settled the area. And this was a list of some. We saw the Orson Adams home, and you see his name right there. You see that? We're going to walk down there and see that other house. This is just the monument.
Yeah, there's one more house, and the other house is credited to is that the Robert Carrington that this other house is credited to?
Right. This is the what's the name of this? I forgot the how did they call this house? The Harris
I was looking, I just, you know, William Laney is all that I saw.
No, this house. The one that we were just, that house right there.
Oh, the Orson Adams home.
Yes.
Okay, start over. You can.
No.
This is where they called the Orson.
This is William Laney's house. The town of Harrisburg was founded by Moses Harris in 1859. By 1868, 25 families had made their homes, and that's a list of them over there, right? In this town. They survived almost 50 years with vineyards and orchards. Cane and sorghum and molasses was raised by bringing water from Creel Creek, and wagon freighters shipped them in and out. All right. That's pretty. We'll walk down to the other house.
All right.
Let's see if we can walk this way, or do we have to walk down the road? I don't want to like disturb someone.
Don't move.
No, I think we can go this way and just walk along the fence. There's the ruins of another one, that house like this down here. And it looks like they've turned this into a campground. You know what? Those plants are pretty.
They are.
One thing I like about the West, when you go through cities or towns or anything like that, is the landscaping that they do. And they try to choose plants that's native to the area. And so, but they make the landscaping along these little highways and interstates look so beautiful. Like, look at this, guys.
They really do a good job of landscape out here.
Right. And when you see that, you just have to think about it.
You know something, though, out east we don't really think about because we have so much grass and foliage.
Right.
Here, when you put a project up, I mean, you probably have to maintain it.
I don't know what those little berry things are. They look nasty. Here's the other one. Wow, look at that.
Now this is quite the structure.
This one looks like it's fallen in.
But again, my understanding is that their historical society is trying to refurbish some of these.
Yeah, but this one doesn't have no trespassing. I think you can walk in this one. You walk around. Wow, this is beautiful though. Isn't it?
It really is.
Look, here would be the walkway. Oh, I like that. So here we are coming in our walkway. Now we're inside the house.
And this home is accredited to Robert Covington.
Robert Covington.
And he was born August 20, 1815, so same year as William Leary. He was married to Elizabeth Thomas in 1839. They only had 4 children.
I'm inside the house.
Yeah, I don't know if that's cool, but here we are.
Look at this guy. I'm standing inside of this home. Wow. Look at this window. Ignore the KOA sign. Wow. I want you to look at this. Look at these logs in the fireplace. How they're built into that. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful. Look at this fireplace going all the way up. And when you wake up in the mornings and look out your window, this would be your view. Minus the traffic and the noise. That is beautiful, isn't it? And this would be the door that come off the back. We got a second entranceway into another room back here. I want you to look at this. I can't tell you how this makes you feel, like just standing in history. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's go look at this. See this old fireplace, guys? And there's more logs built into the side of it. I can't tell you what this feels like. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And this home is accredited to Robert Covington. The same as with William Leary. He came out with the Edward Hunter Jacob Fouts Company, which probably that's what they did, was bring settlers out west. But his wife passed away and he married another lady in 1956. Here's the thing that's kind of cool. So he was selected by Brigham Young in 1857 to lead a group of 28 families to establish a cotton mission. So, and back when we did the Pioneer Park and we were talking more about the cotton mission, Robert Covington was one of those select few that was actually challenged to come out here and make that happen. That's probably what the Hunter and Fouts Company was all about at that time, was getting these guys out here. Because that seems to be a common theme. Being from the southern United States, he had a lot of knowledge from that time in agriculture. Because if you remember from some of our other video series, when we're talking about like Alabama, Georgia, a lot of those states were primarily agriculture.
Now we're back around to the front. This is going to be the room to the front.
Came and decided they were going to take us out.
So, you know, that's probably the reason why Leary and Covington were brought out here, was for their agricultural skills.
I want to show you something. You can come right here to see this, but do you see the logs and the beams they built into between the rocks? It's been a fireplace too. I noticed that. There are beams, like wood beams. Yeah. In between the rock. And I say it's weird because I built a fireplace before by hand. And I never put beams.
Right. Well, you see, what I was saying before, you see those posts going across that looked like telephone poles going across the roof?
Right, those are beams.
Those beams on the other side is what has those bolts in it. And in my mind, I think that's to help hold the structure of the house together.
It is, because there's one beam.
Because the weight of these rocks is immense.
It really is. See, come here and look at this side. Did you see this side? Let me come out. I'm going to come out and go around on this side. Now you can see. That is beautiful, guys.
I'm gonna walk around the outside. I personally, if I think I'm trespassing, I can't do it. So I'm gonna come on the outside here.
Now you can see those beams. In that other room, there's one laying down that had fell down, and you can see it. See them?
Yes. Oh, see how that wall's cracking and it's coming apart? That's
Right.
what I think part of those beams is to do, is to help hold that from happening.
Oh, this one's falling apart. It's probably why they don't have it open.
I didn't come around this part yet. View from fence.
Just ignore that. I did see it. I really did.